Hey, it's Geo Brawn here, and I'm happy to be a part of Forbidden Panel. Catch my episode here with AJ, and we're going to talk about all kinds of things that are groovy and horrific. Come and join us.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the PanelCast. I am your host, AJ, and with me this week is the meme brother from another mother, Mr. Geo Brawn. How you doing,
Hey,
sir?
how's it going? Good to see you, man.
You too, sir. It has been a minute.
Yes.
Good to see you, though, like in actual conversation mode, as opposed to you and I stealing each other memes and, claiming that they're our own.
Right.
You bastard. So,
See you.
hello, everybody. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the PanelCast. Um, we are here surviving this week, prepping up for our live draw this upcoming weekend that we're doing, the Father's Day Massacre. We'll have a bunch of people in here drawing. I'm sure a bunch of Terry Quinn art going on here, Stepfather's Day, all that stuff. But we'll have a lot of people in here having fun and doing like we usually do with the live draws. So that's what we're doing, prepping here for this upcoming weekend. Meantime, I thought I'd take a nice, easy day and talk to a good friend of the podcast, Mr. Geo Brawn himself.
Glad you
Um,
are, man. It's good to be here.
Glad to have you, man. Like I said, it's been a minute since we've had you on the show. It's been a minute since you and I have had a conversation.
True.
I believe it was Ontario, the HorrorCon. That was the
Yeah.
last time we saw each other.
Yeah, that was a minute ago too.
Yeah, like 2 years, I think, 3
Yeah,
years ago.
about that. Yeah.
CreepyCon, that's what it's called.
Yes, creepy IE.
Yeah, Creep IE or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good con. They're getting bigger and bigger because
Yeah, they're getting really big, and the guest list is getting huge, and they're taking them over the floor.
yeah,
We're thinking about trying to get back in there. We had to take a step back because we lost an artist, and uh, a lot of us grew up, as I'm sure Gio will attest. When you grow up and you become an adult, you get more responsibilities that kind of pull you away from
oh
what for some of us is lifestyle, but for other of us, it's an expensive hobby.
yeah.
Yeah, and by expensive, I mean it's time consuming.
Oh, absolutely,
Expensive in that way.
absolutely,
Uh,
and yeah,
so a lot of our artists are focusing on providing for their families right now. So uh, FP artists taking a little time out, but we're
you
gonna
got to
get
put
back
on
in there. I promise.
the fish stockings. You got to put on the stockings and the fish nets and go
Yeah,
out.
I got to work that pole. I got to bring that money home.
That's how you do.
That's right. So Gio, how have you been, sir? Why don't you
I've
why
been
don't you
good.
talk to us?
No, it's really good to be here today and I tonight, and I'm really having a good time, man. I'm working on my latest book. I also lecture over at Long Beach State. Luckily, they let me do it from online now, so that's really nice. But yeah, I lecture. Long Beach State actually has to. There's a class, a creative lit class, and they have to, as part of the curriculum, read one of my books. Uh, so that's kind of like, wow, mom would be proud. Uh,
Right.
so sure enough, yeah, I get to go and tell they have questions, usually a Q&A, and we just rock and roll, and it's really kind of neat. Working myself.
Now, was that before you moved out there, or?
Yeah, I've been doing it for like 6 years. So for 6 years, I've actually been lecturing. And I lecture every semester, so I get to do this every time, and it's really cool. The book itself is the first book of my second series, so Midnight Angel, and it's a part of their library. So it's really like, wow, that's kind of an honor to be a part of that at a
Nice.
Cal State.
That's a lot of boobies in there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's really kind of cool because they actually um, have to ask like really intense questions about what I created,
Mhm.
and it's really kind of fun. It's like, wow, some of these questions are really good. So that is one class I'm doing lecturing for, guest lecturing. I'm also guest lecturing because there's another class that's going to be a horror class, and that class is going to be horror lit, done by the same teacher.
If you need any guest speakers,
I'll let you know.
let a brother know. I'll make the drive.
Oh, it should be a lot of fun because they actually have to study one of my books, which is all about horror. It's the last book of my first series, which is about of a zombie. And actually, I actually have the zombie here. Let's see if I can bring her out. This is Rosabelle. Take her hat off there.
No, leave the Batman hat on. It's classy. It says Geo.
This is good old Rosabelle.
Hello.
This is actually I actually made this. This was kind of fun because I decided to do something with my creativity after going to Monster Palooza for so many years. And I mean, you get a zen for it after a while, man. You want to do something, you know. So I started, especially during COVID era, I decided to actually start making my own monsters,
Mhm.
physical, stuff. I learned some of the products they used, and I put those together, and I learned how to make the basic skeleton that they would form onto, and I had a lot of fun. So that's one of the creations. That's an air clay, so it's a really light material, and I created that. Um,
If you gave it a little more blue, it would be totally like They Live.
a little
You
bit.
know?
She's got
Yeah.
that look about her.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, like physically seeing what I've had in my head forever. So that was a lot of fun just to really redesign and create. And the book itself is a lot of fun because it's all about love, sex, and greed, sex, and zombies. So that was a lot of fun. And I actually created it after I wasn't ever going to do a zombie book. I thought that was kind of cliche because at the time,
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying.
I mean, what are you trying to say?
I they, I had just for me I was like I'm going to stick to the ghost vampires stuff like that, werewolves. I want to do something with those, and then all of a sudden I met George Romero, and I was in a Vegas convention, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go meet him, but I'm going to draw him something really quick and do a sketch of him as a zombie. I go up to him, and he was just the nicest guy in the world, and the humble, so humble. I mean, just you
Was he
couldn't.
wearing the vest?
He was. He was. And it was
Nice.
like, he's that the classic photographer's vest that
Yeah,
you
when I
post,
met him, he was wearing the vest too. Like, yeah, that's
and
a
it's
nice
just one
guy.
of those things. You look at that man and he's so humble. And I give him this picture and then I give him one of my books and I just say, thank you for all that you do. And
Right.
you inspired me. And I've been lucky enough. He was just so humble. He just like, thank you so much and everything. And can I take a picture with you? And he's like, he looks at the guy who's his handler for the convention. He goes, I don't, can I take a picture with? And the guy looks at him, I swear, he goes, you're George A. Romero. You could do whatever you want. And so he gets up and he takes this wonderful picture with me and just the nicest guy in the world. And I said, you know what? I need to pay homage to this. This is horror. This, the
Right.
zombie world is what it is because
It's
of this
his
guy.
fault.
Yeah.
Absolutely his fault. Yeah,
The godfather of zombies. So
that's right.
at that point, I said, "Yeah, okay, I got to do something," and that's why I made this book. And now it's we're working. Actually, I'm working with an animation company to actually bring it to life as a short that we can take to film festivals and so forth, and then go from there. Hopefully, eventually, it becomes its own thing because I think it'd be a lot of fun to bring to the masses.
That'd
So
be
yeah,
cool.
I
Yeah.
mean, with things going on right now, independent horror can be anything. Look at Sinners. I
Oh
saw
my
that movie
god.
twice in theaters.
Yeah, but Sinners is beyond horror, though. I think
Oh well.
Sinners is generational, just a generational awesome story.
It is. It's a but it's an independent story. It's an original story, and it's an
Right.
amazing story, and it bridges gaps between all kinds of things going on. Not
Right.
just that era, that racism, that South.
It no, it everything about it. Just it was a phenomenal movie. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I was like I said twice, and it's like a
Yeah.
3 hour movie.
Yeah.
I
Have you seen it on IMAX yet?
Yes,
You have?
yes.
I
I had
have
to go
yet
to
to see it on
Bakersfield to do
IMAX.
that.
I wanted to do it because, they learned. Ryan Coogler asked Christopher Nolan, like, "Dude, teach me IMAX
Mhm.
so I can make this movie in IMAX because it deserves it."
Yeah,
And then
I
while he was doing it, Michael B. Jordan was like, "You learning? Okay, I gotta learn too."
you know,
And they learned how to film on an IMAX camera so they could film this movie. And the
it's
movie's gorgeous. It's a
it is.
beautiful movie. Even outside of like the story and the
Right,
music,
right.
it's just beautifully shot. Everything about it is just amazing.
It really is. It
And
really
and it needs to be seen on the IMAX to be appreciated.
it's true, and that's one of the things too. If you're gonna see this movie, for those who haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but if you get a chance, see it in IMAX because I've seen it both ways. I went to the local
Right.
theater here where I live, and it's a small theater. It's like literally a hometown theater. I saw it there, but then I saw it in the IMAX in the big city, as we call it out here. And sure enough, it was a whole new experience. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. It's opening the door to let people know independent horror. It doesn't have to be a Marvel movie to be popular. We
Right.
can still make great movies that aren't
It's
related to
9:30.
Disney. We're still making great movies out there, and that I'm hoping this opens up a whole new door, and people
By
start
the way,
getting.
it's 9:30, in case you didn't know. Just letting you know.
If I don't have constant reminders of time, I lose all track, and then it's all of a sudden it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and
Right. No, I'm
I'll
the
be
same way.
oh, I have to have clocks, and my computer, as I affectionately call her, the Betty has to tell me, or else I'm going to be going all night long, and then I it's like, God, it's 6 o'clock. Is that the sun? And
Right.
it's not okay. It's not okay. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, this is a great time. Hopefully, it brings more things across because it's harder these days. I mean, there was a time where there was four, and I'm sure nobody remembers this, but there was four channels out there to choose from, and now there's an oversaturation of streaming and all kinds of things, and you can see movies.
What are you trying to say? Like
It's an interesting time in history, and trying to make a film or anything off of anything these days that's not got backing like from Disney, from Marvel, from all this other
Right.
stuff, or Warner Brothers. It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, because nobody knows how to make money anymore. It's a very different world, and well, we'll find
Well,
out, I'm sure.
I see a lot of people that are making the money on, ad revenue, stream revenue, all that stuff. And it feels like it's not that it's hard to make, it's just I'm not dumb enough to make it. Like it just seems like that's the case. Or uh all the stuff that I'm seeing, like sure, there's stuff I did as a kid.
Yeah,
I'm too old to do that anymore.
there's
And who
there's
wants to
something
see an old guy running around doing that shit anyway, right? Like,
there's things out there that really kind of blow my mind. I just watched a horror movie, gosh, about a couple of weeks ago, and it's really, the movie itself is just sensory deprivation to the max. And I'm like, it's just trying to blow your mind with what it's trying to film and trying to get you really intent on watching what's going on, but they're showing you the ceiling and not showing you anything else. It's like it's almost like a ghost scenario in this movie. They don't tell you anything about what's going on, and it's all through the eyes of two children. And there's a TV going, but you don't even see the TV. It's the flashing of the lights of the cartoon that they would be watching, or else they'll show the broken Lego city on the floor, and I was just like, it's an hour and a half of this. All right, let's do this. And it was
what am
just,
I watching?
and that's how I felt through the whole thing. I'm like, it's okay. I know it's artsy. I get that, but there's a
Right.
level of, I need to understand.
There's a line of
There's a
artsy.
line. There's a
There's a
line. And
line.
I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no understanding in this movie. And then by the end of it, it's like some weird fever dream. And I'm just like, God, I'm watching, what is this? Who made this? Rob Zombie? What happened here?
Right.
What's going on?
No, if it was wrong, if Sherry Moon Zombie wasn't in it, then you're safe.
You would see her in it at some point. Literally, you see very, very little actors at all in this, and I'm just like, what is going on? Why do I keep hearing the kid, but they don't show the? Why am I not seeing the actors? What
Why am I still watching this shit?
ceiling? And I'm upside down again. What is going? It was so, and I'm like, good lord, what? Someone paid for this. Someone made money on this, or hopefully
That,
they.
that reminds me, I have to watch Until Dawn tonight. I, I just recently picked it up and I have to watch it. I meant to watch it out out in the real world, but
Mhm.
it just didn't happen.
But
Did you
time
get to see
got
it
away
yet?
from you. Yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't seen it yet, but I want
I
to see.
heard I heard wonderful things about it, and
It.
not it isn't high quality, but I heard it was just a good schlock fest that I'd
Yeah,
appreciate.
sometimes if you're in the mood for that, sometimes it's fantastic. Sometimes,
Everybody needs an escape room.
oh God, yes.
you know,
If you don't, sooner or later you're gonna crack. You need
right?
you need an escape room just to get away. I mean, sometimes it's old school horror. I'll
Yeah,
watch some of the classic slashers just to relax a bit, just to mellow out. The streaming does have a whole collection of, like, you name it, you could find it.
yeah,
And then by now I've met so many of the people who have been a part of it, and I know some of them, like, regularly. I talk to them. It's just like, I love that. I love that I can see, you get hacked up 20 ways from Sunday, but I know you're cool and at home, and chilling,
right.
and you made a great, couple dollars off of this, and you had a good time doing it. It's
Which is
wonderful.
the entire cast of every Rob Zombie movie.
Yes.
They are at every single Monster Palooza,
Oh yeah, and that
or
goes across the country. I've seen them in,
yeah, they go to
Texas,
every single one of them,
in
man.
Nevada, and they love it. They're all a big group of them. They just love talking, hanging out with each other. I think it's
Yeah,
fantastic. You know,
and
I've
that
met
just
some
cracks me
really.
up every time I see them. I'm like, "Are you guys again? Ain't you? Shouldn't be you be filming a movie?" Like,
How are you here now? Like, yeah, no, it's a trip. It's a trip, and I laughed too because, like, the first time I saw that group from the Rob Zombie trope, the
right?
troop of Rob Zombie people, and sure enough, um, one of them in particular, I didn't know
Mhm.
he was the caveman in the Geico commercials,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I was just like, and he'd commented I was wearing a Svengoolie shirt. Love Svengoolie. To this day, I watch it. And oh, Svengoolie, that's so cool. And I'm like, hey, thanks, man, and cool. And we talked for a minute or so, and then afterwards, you find out that he was the Geico caveman. I'm just like, damn it, I would so want to ask him after playing that for so long. And then there was, for a hot minute, there was a TV show, and I just wanted to know. I had
Yeah, I remember that TV show. Oh my
right, and it
god.
was like you watched it and you were like, really? Even as a kid when it came out, I was like,
Couldn't couldn't
really?
we just have stayed with Harry and the Hendersons? Like, we're good
Right?
with that. Like,
It was hilarious. I was just like, huh.
Encino Man, that was cool. We were good. Okay.
So yeah, it was a trip. But you get to meet so many great people out in
I
the.
met Ken Forey one time. We were walking opposite ways at San Diego Comic Con. I was like, Ken Forey, what's up? And he's like, shut up, bitch. I was like, yeah.
That's the great. You know what, that's one of the greatest things too, when you can meet them, get to know them, but you saw them as a kid. Like, for
Yeah,
example, the guy who played Captain Rhodes in the Day of the Dead,
yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
Joe Pilato, super cool guy. But at first, he was right across from me. I had a table, and he was right across from me. And he's got the banner. I'm like, oh my god, it's Captain Rhodes, and he scared the life out of me when I was like, 12, 13. The guy was just frightening. The menacing in him, and finally got what was coming to him at the end. But still, I'm like, wow, he's
Right,
sure enough. He keeps on saying the line, I'm running this farm now,
right.
Frankenstein, and I want to know what you're doing with my time. And I'm just like, wow. And people, every time he did it, people would cheer and clap and everything. But I've heard it 13 times in the span of 2 days. Please stop.
Right.
But no, I actually,
That's the worst thing. It's cool when you get a booth next to
oh yeah.
a movie star or somebody like the first day,
Hmm.
because you're like, yeah, look, I'm sitting next to this guy. Woo.
Right.
Come
But
day 3, you're like, "Fuck this guy, fuck this
then
movie, fuck this con,
I'm out.
fuck everybody, I'm out."
I
Like,
know, but it's just so with him, I was like, all right, I've heard this line so many times, but you know what? I'm going to draw him a picture. So I drew him a quick sketch. and then I went ahead and gave it to him, and he was so appreciative, and he was
Mhm.
such a nice guy that we became friends. And it was just like, I'd love to keep in touch with you more, but you don't even own a computer, which was crazy to me. I'm like, really? Maybe he
Right.
just doesn't want to talk to anybody, but no, he actually didn't even own a computer. And I'm like, okay, well, so I'd see him at the next convention, or I'd see him at this convention. And I saw him, a few times like that, and then ended up at Monster Palooza. I had a booth, and he was just walking around. He was probably in the actors section. He was just walking around chilling, and I was like, he saw me, and he goes, Geo. I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? He goes, it's going great, it's going good. He goes, what are you doing your thing? I'm like, yeah, yeah. He goes, oh, cool, cool, cool. He goes, you want to do a picture? I'll look at, give me one of your books, and I'll look all shocked, and yeah. So really cool guy, and I'm just like, you know what? Now we're
Nice.
just cool buds. I was sad when he passed away, but he was one of those guys that was just super cool. Same with from Return of the Living Dead. I got to meet some of the people from that, and I mean, one of the actors was just so cool. Um, Capra, God, that's been a while. He passed away quite a few years ago, but I met him passing by, and I had to say something because number one, Return of the Living Dead. Number two,
Right.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Right.
And I'm just like, dude, I, and I'm just like, I have to. I couldn't even stop myself, and I probably should have because I could see he was in a rush, but he was still such a nice guy, and it was just like, dang man. And then I catch him in other movies, and I'm just like, he was in 10 with Dudley Moore, and it's just, you
Mhm.
get to meet, you see all the different aspects of a person's
These
career.
are movies that all of you young people should be Googling right now.
Right now, just start googling them, and you'll see with 10.
We're old people, so these are movies we grew up in, and they were old when we watched them.
Yes, yes, they
So
were. True story. But sure enough, you just run into these great people, and you can't go wrong with that. You meet and you know what it is that they get to express their shadow, their dark side on the screen. They get to
mhm.
be these really great Tony Todd, perfect example. Candyman. What a nice guy. I ran into him. We were at a con together, and I ran into him in the elevator, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm standing next to Candyman. Oh my god! And he was
How
like
creepy
in.
would it have been if a bee just landed around you randomly?
I would have lost it. I would have passed out. I just,
I'm out.
I'm out. That would have been it. But he was such a cool guy. And he goes, hey man, do you know the score? It was a Sunday. He goes, man, do you know the score of the game? I'm like, dude, I wish I did, but unfortunately, I don't keep up with sports anymore because I just don't have any time. He's like, oh man, I want to know what the basketball game score is. I'm like, I'm sure you'll find out. I don't know. But he was cool, and we talked a little bit on the way. I was like, dude, I'm just to let you know, I'm a huge fan. I loved you as Ben in the remake that Tom Savini did of
Mhm.
Living Dead. And he goes, thank you, thank you. Most people tell me Candyman, but I appreciate you saying that. And he goes, and then at the time, now it's kind of a cult classic. But when it first came out, it didn't do great numbers.
No.
But I think that he appreciated that fact that I mentioned something that didn't do great, but he felt good about doing it, and he was so great. He played that character really well.
Yeah.
I had to say something, so that was
And
just.
I just recently saw him in the new Final Destination,
I'm
um,
looking forward to seeing that.
which, I mean, the movie itself, I couldn't stop laughing, but I'm sick like that in the head. Um, but seeing him in the movie
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
it was depressing, but it was so good to see at the same time because he had that Chadwick Boseman look about him where he's just
right,
like drained and
yeah.
everything.
He was very gaunt at the end there, and
But the way he acted in the film was 100% totally professional,
that's
and
awesome.
it looked like he was just like he was just in the moment and he was loving it, and you
Mhm.
can tell he appreciated that he was still able to be in that role.
Well,
He
I
died like a couple days after filming that role.
yeah, and I
So like it was like he was filming his Final Destination,
yeah,
and
of all the movies that he was going to portray in. And I remember, I think I read somewhere that he was told by the director during one particular scene where he's going to give this is his big moment to shine on this.
right.
And he was told, okay, you know what? You don't have to be off, just be off script. Do your thing. Just do what you want to say. What would you say in this moment? and apparently the scene is so poignant,
Yeah.
so real because of how he did that. And I think that's if you're gonna go out, say something. Say what
The
you need to say.
speech he gave in the movies, it
Yeah.
was more than the movie. You
Mm,
know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Like it was outside the movie and it was really good.
That's awesome.
And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I would
That's
recommend you seeing it if just for the scene. I mean, the rest of the movie is Final Destination, so you know
Mhm.
what you're getting into.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they
And
haven't had one since what, 2011?
yeah,
I think so.
so
It's
this
been a
was
while.
part 7, part 6.
6, I think it's 6, but yeah, um,
So
and it's fun. And really it's kinda like the Friday the 13th movies.
you
You were
go to see how they die. Like that's all
Yes,
you're going to
yes.
see.
And how creative is this going to get? It's the
Right.
moment you
It's the
don't
same with Saw. You're only going to see Saw because you want to see the trap.
and that's what it comes down to. How
Right.
creative are they gonna be about it? And some of them are great, I mean, some of them you're just like, "Wow, okay, that was creative." I don't I didn't see that
Mhm.
coming.
Right.
And they love to throw you off, especially in those movies, because they know you're coming to
Right.
see them get ripped apart and cacked up and hit by the bus and whatnot.
It's 9:45.
It's 9:45. So the idea of actually doing it creatively after so many times, much like the Jason movies, much like now Freddy's a little more easier because you could do all kinds of crap in dreams.
Right.
So that
Well, with nightmares and dreams, you're entering a whole new scape. So
exactly.
yeah, it would be cool if they did show different nightmares and different,
Yeah,
landscapes and stuff. And
yeah,
they don't often, but every now and then they do.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's why I got into Cube was to see what different rooms they were having in each cube that they went into. It was like different
Mhm.
rooms and stuff. I loved it.
Oh God, yes.
Um,
And it's as an actor, I would imagine it's a lot of fun to either be a bad guy or be one of the fatalities. I
right.
mean,
Just
depending
to
on
be in it would be fun.
right,
Um,
right, and that's just I love that. I love that. I wouldn't mind being in a horror movie. I was in an animated movie probably about 7 years ago now, and it was really kind of a friend of mine, Jim Lujan, was picked up by Bill Plimpton, the famous, well-known indie animator, and they did a
mm,
project together. And he wanted me to redo one of my characters that I did for one of his early animations. And it was so much fun just doing that. I could do number one, I could do it from the comfort of my own home, so that was nice. Um, any job you can do in your boxers is great, so that's awesome. But also too, at the same time,
Unless it's
seeing
phone sex operator, then
that's
change your boxers.
that's but yeah, it was really super cool to be able to see that in the big screen and know the voice uh, is mine, and get to see it on Tubi every so often. I'm just like, wow, okay,
Nice.
that's kind of fun. And I would love to do that again. I love the voice acting stuff because it's just so much fun, and you can actually just be creative, but you have to do it all through voice. And I did for about 9 years in my early life. I worked as a phone operator, not a sex phone operator, but a phone operator.
Right, right. That's what you have to say.
What are you wearing tonight? I mean, but no, I worked as a
I did
cable.
hear your Geo After Dark ad, remember? Like
Oh man, that was fun. I used to love doing the voices for that. But yeah, I worked as a phone operator for the cable company, and you not only pick up a lot in a person's voice, but also you can reflect a lot in a
right.
person's voice. So I got to really enjoy the voice process of acting, and telling person, yes, that cable man will be there between 2 and 4 p.m. Absolutely.
Next
Perfect.
year.
Next year. Yes. So yeah, man, it's a lot of fun to
Mhm.
the career that I've had in graphic novels and comic books has given me so much more back. Um, I couldn't ask for more. I was pretty fortunate to do as much as I did at conventions, and then to get recognized. And people come up to me and like, "Hey, I saw you at Costco. Hey, I saw you at this convention, man. You're so cool." That's really sweet. You drew a picture for my daughter as a zombie mermaid. Fantastic, thank you. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So doing what I do now, I do it because to this day I still love it. You
That's
know,
good. Somebody has to love your art.
right, right, and it's
I mean,
something
somebody
that hope
out there somewhere. Absolutely.
somebody, right? And yeah, so I really enjoy the process of it.
So, what is it that you're working on now? You say you're talking about a new book, or
Yeah, so I'm working on my second series, which is called the Angel Codex. The Angel Codex is a continuation of the first series I did, which was the Untold Chronicles, and that series dealt with more horror. Uh, this series deals with more fantasy and expands the universe of the original books. So instead of just the standardized werewolves, ghosts, vampires, stuff like that, we broaden the whole horizon. There's angels, demons, gods, goddesses, you name it, and on a whole scale, all living in the same universe. And different planes, sometimes they're coming in and out of different planes, but nevertheless, all in the same world together. And the first book I did was Midnight Angel. The second book I did was called Genesis of Fate. And then this book is called The Blood of Eden. Now, The Blood of Eden is actually a continuation of Genesis of Fate, with the main character now going on as her. This is her own story. This is what she does with her powers after becoming something bigger than just a human being in a dystopian society. And so now I'm about 2/4 of the way in on finishing this up, and then I put it out there.
you have any artwork you chose?
It's all digital. I don't know how to transfer it over on here. Uploading.
Oh,
Let's
well
see.
then fine, be that way. We'll just act like we saw his art
Yeah, there you go.
and it's amazing, and we know that he draws things.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
the proof we need right now.
I'll have to send you some stuff to post up there so you can slap it
Uh,
on there.
I've read some of your Untold Chronicles. I believe I have 1 and 2.
Yeah, I
I,
think you have the first two.
I
Yeah,
I believe I have those. I know Richard was a big fan. He was
yeah.
a huge fan. He used to thank me all the time for introducing you guys uh, and getting him into the series and stuff. So he was a big fan.
He's a great guy. I miss that guy. I
Yeah,
miss that guy a lot.
yeah.
It's
So do I. Um, but yeah. So this one, when's the? Tell me what kind of release schedule you have it on, and what kind of.
right now.
Uh,
I'm hoping to get it done by the end of the year. I want to
okay.
see this actually in time for Christmas.
And then
So
how are you going to promote it? Are you going to go out to cons? Are you going to be doing
probably do some
Kickstarter? Are you going
conventions.
to do what are you
Um,
going to do with it?
Probably going to go online and promote the heck out of it like I do. I'm on social media all over the place, and put it out there to the masses as much as I can. Yell into the hurricane like I do. Uh, so yeah, just keep on doing what I do and how I do it, and hopefully, like I said, it gets uh, seen by the right people. You know, I just keep going. So I'm doing something right if I keep going like this.
Y-
Um,
You recently had a big move. What prompted that?
so I lived in the Riverside area for about 10 years out here in California. And after COVID, I was renting, and I had a nice house there. It was great, but after 10 years, my landlord realized I could get a lot more money if I rented it for a lot more. Uh, and he could only California law, you can only go up 30%. Well, he wanted to go
Right.
way up. He wanted to add in a whole nother, $1,000. And if he had said something, I would have said, sure, okay, we could do that. Fine. He didn't, and instead just said, well, the the actual owner, who lives in China, wants to come in, and they want to live there. That's going to be their home in America. Well, it felt good. I was like, okay, that's actually a really. It feels like it's doing a good deed. They
Right.
want to come here. They're tired of, and like I said, they were still in lockdown in China, so it was still really bad for them out there, and I get that. So I was like, okay, sure, we'll I can go ahead and move. Um, The only problem was there's no place to move. I mean, you can get a shoebox for $3,000.
Right.
Um, so it was kind of like, well, this is ridiculous. And I have a half husky, half Australian Shepherd. So he's a pretty big dog. He's like 75 pounds.
The walking ball of fur.
Yeah, he is. He's got a triple coat. He's a walking ball of fur. And when that coat, I mean, it's like a bad magic trick when you got to clean off his fur. I could pull out another puppy. It's
Right.
ridiculous. So I know I have to have a place for him to roam. Couldn't find anything. Couldn't find anything. I moved 3.5 hours away. to Kern County out here. I live in Tehachapi, which is a nice rural area. It's like you move to Mayberry. Is the best way to describe it. It's I swear to God, I'll see Andy and Barney walking around on their beat. It's interesting. It's interesting, but it's also in the forest. So I see all kinds of animals just walking through my front yard. And if you've ever seen a giant deer come up to you and with the big rack of murder horns, you learn to stick away really quick and just say, I'm gonna go back inside. You can I get you anything? Are you good?
Right.
Coffee, tea, anything? You're good? Okay, good.
I lived in Iowa. We didn't have fences around our backyards.
I'm the only one who has a fence. Fences don't matter. The deer just right over. They
Right.
don't even care. It doesn't even, it's not even a deterrent for them. This is bear country. There is black bears out here. Luckily it's black bears. So they're very scarce. You know, they don't want to mess with anybody. And I have air horns all around my property. So anytime something comes up, you know, I don't mess around. But there's bobcats, there's cougars. I live literally in the Revenant, and just how I roll now. But luckily, I've been
That was a
pretty.
little TMI because now I got the image in my head, and I just didn't need that of
You went,
Geo and the bear. That's its own comic strip right there.
it is.
Geo
I
and
have,
the bear. Like,
it's funny you mentioned that because locally, there's a local paper out here. It's called the Loop. There's a local paper, and I say, you know what? It's sad. The paper's kind of depressing. So I got in touch with the owner. I got in touch with the paper themselves. I said, hey, I'm an artist. I'm new to the area. I would love to do a little comic strip for you guys just to lighten it up a bit. Because a lot of what you have in here is obituaries. Because people who live out here usually
die.
they're dying out here. They're getting old. They've been here for 50 years, and so it's peppered with obituaries throughout the whole paper. I'm like, it's depressing. So I said I'll do a little comic strip, and I call it Just Barely, and it's about this bear living in Tehachapi and the life and times of Barely. He has a best friend that's an owl because I have owls all around me as well. I got like 4 owls in the big oaks, so I'm like, I mean, hawks, owls, all the things, man. I live literally out here in the forest. I sometimes feel like Snow White, and that's not a good thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, I do a little comic strip, and it's fun. It's fun. So, you know, give something to the people, and now they recognize me for that. Oh, the guy who does the comic book. Oh, I know that. So you know, it's a lot of fun to just give people something fun to enjoy.
My wife is from Running Springs, so she knows all about the mountain living, the
Hmm.
forest living, and everything.
Hmm.
So I'm sure she's gonna be laughing her ass off when she hears it. Your adventures out there, your
It's
Flatlander adventures in the forest.
it's crazy because luckily I live in the valley floor area, but there are hills that people live up, and they live at the top
Right.
of these hills. I'm at 4,000 foot
You stay
elevation.
away from them thar hills,
Oh, I do. I don't even wait for the banjos to start playing. I don't
right?
go. Don't go.
Like,
So I mean,
stay away from the moonshine.
yes, you know, don't.
I mean, it'll be good, but you don't know if you're gonna wake up the next morning with all
Why
your
did I
parts
wake up in a field full of sheep naked? What the hell happened?
on. Right.
You know,
Again.
again, right? Third time's a charm.
Right.
Uh,
This
but sure,
hangover?
right. But no, it's crazy because it's like 2,000 feet above me is these hills where people live at the top, and I'm like, how do you coming down? It's like 15 minutes just coming down that hill, and I mean, it's all the way down. I mean, people roll off those hills if they take it too quick, and
It's
that
the
just happened
same up
last time.
here. Same up
Yeah.
here.
Oh God. And it's like,
Break
why?
Arrowhead, man. Everybody coming down the hill
Yeah.
all the time. My mother-in-law, she drives down all the time, and I always feel guilty when she's coming down for me. I'm like,
It's crazy. I,
why?
exactly. Last summer, I was like, I saw like all the lights on the on the roadway up there, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I bet you someone rolled off that. And sure enough, yeah, they took it too quick, rolled twice, right off, boom. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm stay down here on the valley floor. This is where
Right.
I'm staying. Thank you. I'm good.
This is where
Don't
I
have.
live now. I'm good. I wish I could live. I'd trade you. I'll trade you. You can move into my house. I'll move out there. I love the forest, man. I love it out there.
Dude, it was so. I now I like it, right? But at first, I had when I first moved here, I had to set everything up. So it's pitch black dark.
How long did it take you to get rid of your cough?
A little bit, actually, a little bit, because yeah, it's a different the
Different
elevation.
air. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't notice it at first,
Mm-mm.
but I started taking my dog for a walk, and we just go around the bend. It goes down a little bit, and I took him for a walk down there. Came back up the same way. I was huffing and puffing, and so
Yep.
was he. And both of us are just like, okay, this is weird. Well, I thought I was in better shape than this. And just yeah, but after a while you start to get used to it. But it takes a minute.
Yeah,
It
when I
takes
moved to Iowa for that first week, I was
Mhm.
just coughing like crazy and I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And so I went in to go get checked out, and they're like, "Well, there's no pollution up here." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. It's a
I'm
trick.
breathing clean air. My lungs don't know what's going on now.
I'm not used to this.
Hold on a minute. Ha. All right, I understand. We're good."
Oh, exactly, exactly. And it's crazy because I mean, the mountain air. You're just, I mean, this is the high desert, so it's just like, and it's like, what is that smell?
Right.
Oh, it's
Oxygen.
clean air. It's oxygen. God, who lives like this? Oh, wait.
Was that a cloud?
Right, right. Oh, and it's crazy because the clouds come right over the hills up here, and I'm like, that's so low. It just comes floating in. I'm like,
So
oh,
that's what fog lights on my car are supposed to do.
right. Oh, these knobs aren't just for show. Right. So yeah,
Um, so are you doing any conventions or anything yet?
I haven't scheduled anything out just recently because, like I said, I'm out here, and getting anywhere else from here is fun. Like I said, the closest town where I went to go see the at the IMAX, it's about an hour away.
Hmm,
So anything I do, it's got to be big. It's got to be, I mean, it's got to be worth it.
right.
I would love to do some conventions out here, but there's nothing currently out here. But
Well, looks like you need to start one.
I think maybe I may have to do just that because otherwise, it's just what they did in Riverside with that creepy IE convention.
It's what I
Uh,
did in Redlands. Remember when I started my
yeah,
conventions?
yeah, that was fun. Those were great times too.
Yeah,
We had a lot of good times in that. So yeah, I think maybe it might be a thing.
you
We'll
need
see
help.
what will
Call me up and I'll laugh at you.
happen.
I'll say, well, obviously you're not stressed out enough, so
Yeah.
allow me to help you with this project to get you more stress. Then we can really be bald brothers.
Yes, yes. It ain't growing back anymore, brother.
Nope.
It's not growing.
So, all right. Well, I think that about wraps us up there. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Like I said, it's been a minute. It's always great catching up with you.
Absolutely.
Um,
It's good
I'm
seeing
looking forward to seeing any of the stuff you got coming out soon.
you. Awesome.
Please keep us in the loop. Send us some of your work so that we can post it and tag it.
Will do.
Because yeah,
I
you're one of our
appreciate it.
favorites and stuff. So
You're the man. I appreciate it, AJ. Thank you.
tell everybody where they can find you online.
Yeah, I mean, if you Google me, you're going to see all kinds of stuff, but you could find my website, brawngraphics.com. That's BRAWNGRAPHIX.com. You'll see all kinds of great stuff. I do a lot of kinds of art, pinup art. You'll see some of my book work there. You'll see a lot of commission stuff I do. Check it out.
Okay, so one more time, BARWN.
BRAWN, Brawn, my last name, and then graphics, GRAPHIX.
There you go. Now I'm gonna have it scrolling across the bottom so all of you can see
Appreciate it, man.
right now.
Nice. All right. I appreciate
Yeah.
you having me on, AJ. Thanks, man.
Hey, anytime, anything you ever got to say, just let me know and we'll get you back on here
Appreciate it, brother.
immediately. Thank you, everybody else, for tuning in. We appreciate you guys spending your time with us anytime at all. Do not forget this weekend, March, I believe it's 30th. We will be having a Father's Day Massacre live streaming here on ForbiddenPanel.com. You'll be able to watch at least 4 to 5 artists here at the clubhouse, as well as others streaming in. Geo, if you happen to be free, man, let me know. I will send you the link. You can join us online
Appreciate
and
it.
stream in, and we could have some fun.
Cool.
Um, yeah, otherwise, everybody check us out, forbiddenpanel.com. You'll find all of our social media links and all of other news stories up there. Yeah. So thanks everybody. You're gonna be hit with a whole bunch of a whole bunch more of Geo after this very loud and annoying song.
BrawnGraphics.com. It's your one-stop shopping for all things Geo Brawn. That's yours truly. I'm happy to share them with you. Everything from my graphic novels, both series, The Angel Codex, which is my latest, and as well, my original series, The Untold Chronicles. You'll also see all kinds of pinup art that I've done over the years, and I'm talking all kinds of pinup art. So check out BrawnGraphics.com. I'll be happy that you did.